So thank you for joining us in the first place. Could you please shortly introduce yourself, tell us what does the organization you're representing do?
My name is Tomáš Prouza. I work at the Czech Ministry of Industry and Trade, and I coordinate the Czech presidency. And even for the Ministry of Industry, the work on climate change and increasing energy efficiency, better environment is the key work, not only for the presidency times, but also after the end of this year, because what we really need in Europe, and I think Czech Republic and Poland have these similar connections, is to make our industries much cleaner, much more energy efficient, and give people a good guarantee that we are fighting climate change.
But the main question is it possible in terms of two economies that are so industrialized, such as Czech Republic and Poland, to commit to take that cost, you know what I mean, through energetic transition, but also to be sure that our economies will survive?
I think we now have an enormous opportunity to do so, because there has never been so much funding available for making our industries more efficient. The EU funds, both the traditional cohesion funds we've all been benefiting from, but also under the national recovery programs. Again, for the Czech industry, there is a lot of money available. The bigger challenge we feel is the ability of the businesses to actually use that money quickly and efficiently. So one part of it is to help companies make the change, and the other one, for the governments especially, we can destroy the bureaucracy that is sometimes surrounding the EU funds and make sure that companies can use this money this year, next year, not 5 years down the road.
And that's a huge pain point. I can assume that countries, both countries and residents, are willing to speed up the transition to that green economy. However, what about companies? Are they also eager or rather reluctant? Do they need some incentives to speed up the process?
We've seen it quite often in the case of Czech companies that they lived on this, I would even call it a drug of cheap energy. And we always believe there will always be cheap Russian gas. Now the companies are waking up and finally investing and catching up with their Western European competitors who invested into cutting down their energy costs, increasing energy efficiency already 5 years ago. And now with the high energy prices, we are less and less competitive compared to our Western European competitors. So I think both Czech, Polish companies, whole Central Eastern Europe need to speed up these investments and need to do it very quickly to remain competitive, and also make sure that never in the future no other dictator can blackmail us like Putin has done so far.
That will be my last question. Currently we are in Brussels at the European Sustainable Week. How do you like this event so far?
I find it very inspiring, because in one room you can hear a lot of examples, a lot of stories how things can be done. Some people are also willing to share their mistakes, and I think that is even more important, so that you don't repeat the mistakes. And the key thing for me here is to get inspired, see specific examples how we can move quickly forward, because again, I think there's no time to lose.
Well, from our perspective, this conference is an opportunity to run into many experts and to discuss a plethora of insights about how can we protect the environment. Have you heard of TOGETAIR before? Have you heard of TOGETAIR, our organization, before?
I haven't, but what I found very interesting, and why I should look at the program, what you have done in the last 2 years, is to bring a lot of people together. And that has been very hard, for example, in the Czech Republic. There has been a lot of climate change denials. There's been this strong belief that cheap energy will be here forever, so that we do not have to do any change. But in the last year or so, I see there's a significant change in the mood of the society. People understand we need to invest into our future. And we've always believed in the Czech Republic, we in a modern country, modern economy, but still over 10,000 people die every year in the Czech Republic because of air pollution. They die too early, and I think that is the cost we also need to avoid.
And that being said, I can tell that we have many common objectives, and as a matter of fact, next year in April, we will be discussing these issues during a climate summit that we will be organizing. Perhaps you would like to sign in.
Definitely, I think for Central and Eastern Europe to be able to talk together, discuss the opportunities is something we should do much more often than we did in the past.
So I'll see you next year, and thank you for joining us.
Agreed, thank you.